Okay. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because on a 1 week notice, we can get 100 people in a Zoom. So I'm very happy. All right. Um, oh my gosh, Kareem. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Francis,
we're at 99 participants, 98. I mean, oh my God,
perfect,
we hit 100 just now. All right.
perfect.
That's awesome. Okay.
For folks, shoot me
Yay.
if you
All
can
right.
shoot me a chat
It's
message.
fine
Are
if
you
we don't
hearing
want to pass
Francis
guest
clearly?
around. We can do you wanna I don't know, should we do a chat with
Yeah.
all right now really
Okay.
fast?
Yeah. No, Francis,
All right.
your audio isn't
Let
coming
me
through
mute
very
myself.
well. You're coming
Hold
in
on,
like
what?
very, very
Wait,
quietly.
it's okay. Don't do that. Okay? Hold on. Oh, hold on. My volume is higher now. Does everyone hear me or no? Cream, so
It's
only
yeah.
Cream, can you hear me?
It's still not coming in very good. But is everyone hearing
Are you
me
hearing me?
well?
Oh no, my
There it goes.
speakerphone not good. Sorry
Uh,
guys. I just had I sorry about that. I just had an airplay. Wait, okay, so are we good now or no? Okay,
yes,
so let's
you're
do
perfect.
only so Cream only chat with host, okay? You put that in, right?
Yeah, that's people are.
Everyone good. So just chat with host and we're just gonna do some quick security settings, guys. Okay, hold on just 1 second. So you're gonna be able to chat directly with Kareem and with me so that you'll have both of us together. All right. So it'll be chat with host and co-host. And we're going to keep everyone on mute just because we want to make sure that we have a really smooth webinar and we get a lot done. I'm really happy to say that we did get over 100 people on very short notice. So I'm extremely, extremely happy about that as well. And we are recording the webinar. So you can subscribe to Kweller Prep's YouTube channel. So if you do that, we have a number of great webinars. I am going to let Kareem lead, but I do want to tell you that it means so much to me that you're here. My name is Frances Kweller, the director of Kweller Prep. I have definitely earned that title. Today was a busy day. We ran a lot of classes on even though it was a holiday, we did run quite a lot of Zoom. So I want to share with you, thank you so much for being here. Kareem is a major, major expert with the college application process. He's going to speak about himself. Um, I want to tell all of you good luck. Many of you will be applying to the school momentarily. We're going to walk you through the application. And then I'm going to go in and out, but I'm just going to listen in with you. All right. And then Rose is going to join towards the end. She's actually in a college class right now. It's finishing up and she'll offer some tips towards the very end. All right. Thanks, Kareem. I'm going to mute myself so you can get started.
Perfect. Sounds good. And
And yes, and you'll tell them about yourself and then we'll do the share screen. Let me know if you need something.
perfect. Sounds good. So, and someone named Rose also just joined Francis, so that may be the Rose that you're looking for. But um,
Oh, okay. But she said she'll speak towards the end anyway. So we're okay. So, okay. All right. Go ahead.
and it looks like one of my old students just joined too. I don't know if you're hearing, but Luke, good to see you. So, hi everyone. My name's Kareem Stanley. I have been tutoring at Kweller Prep for about a decade now. I am originally from Queens, New York, and I'm of Jamaican descent. So my family is comprised of Jamaican immigrants, but moved to New York, and then I was born here in the States. But either way, I went to Queens High School for the Sciences at York College. I graduated from there in 2013. After that, I went to Columbia University, where I pursued a chemical engineering degree with an applied math minor. I graduated from Columbia in 2017, and then I was working for a few years down south in Houston, Texas, for about 3 years before I came back to school. I'm currently doing both the JD and the MBA program here at Harvard. So I'm based in Boston and enjoying my experience. I have done my first year of law school, so Francis knows very well because Francis is a lawyer as well. That first year is the difficult one, and now I'm in the second year of the program where I'm in business school, and I'm just here admitting people as well. So yeah, and people continue to join. We're at 120, Francis. So yes, today we'd like to, as Francis was mentioning, I have been doing kind of like college applications and doing consulting for college applications for quite some time now. I am currently working with students and have just gotten through a few Macaulay applications actually. So I'm very up to date on the process at this point, and am happy to help. I don't know if Francis, if you're doing kind of like any crash courses or anything like that over the weekend, but there's still a weekend, so if you all are interested, I'm sure that we can kind of work something out and have a review done over the weekend if needed. But either way, I've been doing the college application process for some time now, have helped some students with Macaulay essays, have helped students with their common applications as well. So I'm just going to jump right in. So I'll present my screen to you all. So if you look up CUNY application, and people are continuing to join, we are doing an amazing job here, Francis. So if you look up CUNY application, just on Google, that first link that pops up, the CUNY application, City University of New York, brings you to this link where you can go to your CUNY application. And notice how you have for CUNY students, the CUNY First account, that's like if you are attending a CUNY already, and then you have for future students here. So starting your application, ooh, this person is joining and leaving and joining and leaving. It brings you to this screen, your CUNY application. Okay. And notice how when you apply, the drop-down menu is freshman applicant versus transfer applicant. All that means is that, like, if you're applying as a first-year student, or, okay, there's chats coming through. There's a lot of moving pieces right now. Are we going to go over FAFSA, or is it just the application? So we won't be going over FAFSA today. We'll just be going through the application. I'm sorry if there was any confusion there. We kind of pivoted here just because the CUNY or the Macaulay application is due on Tuesday of next week. So there has been a lot of interest, as we can see, with the 127 folks on the line. 128 now. So this drop-down menu tells you can do a freshman application or a transfer applicant. So all that means is if you're doing a freshman application, it means like you're going into the CUNY you're coming from high school and going into the CUNY school. Whereas if you're doing a transfer application, you attended another school already and you want to transfer into the CUNY. So the most common thing that will be applicable for folks on the call is people coming from high school going into the CUNY. So we're doing a freshman application. And then notice how you have this breakdown between like regular application, so freshman application versus Macaulay Honors. So I'll show you guys what the difference here is. So notice when you do freshman application, fall deadline is February 1st, spring deadline is September 15th. So you can apply at 2 points in the year. There's 2 and 4 year degree programs. So yeah, there is certainly a difference there. But now when you hit the Macaulay Honors application, that deadline is November 16th at 6 p.m. Notice how it's the 6 4-year colleges. It's only 4-year colleges. Yeah, and either way, so there's inherently a difference in terms of like what degree program you're applying to if you do Macaulay Honors versus the regular application. So we're going to do the Macaulay Honors application because that's what's of interest to us and is what is due coming up here shortly. So I'll just fill in some quick information. I'll do a random date here. Kareem, Columbia, Harvard, JD, MBA at KwellerPrep.com. And wow, people are really coming into the room. I'll do.
Kareem, can you make the screen a lot larger? This way everyone can see it.
Yeah, this is, yeah. Just creating the account for folks on the line. And Francis, if you are able, if you could just allow people to come in from the waiting room. They're coming in.
Yeah, I totally got the waiting room. I have the chat box. I'm good. I'm quietly listening. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, true. Let's go back. 1 second, folks. Just registering. It's giving us some technical difficulties. Okay, perfect. All right, so this is the main portal that we have for the application. Notice I'll go through everything kind of sequentially. There was a direct message that came through that asked if we could see the freshman application. So it's going to be the same thing. It's just going to ask for a few fewer things. So it'll just be some subset of this. Like it's one essay, it's one fewer recommendation. So this session was kind of for the Macaulay Honors. So if we have time at the end, I'll try to go back and show just the regular freshman application. But I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that in the session today. Another question came through. I understand that one can apply to 6 CUNY colleges at the same time. If you do so, will each of the 6 colleges know that you applied to the 5 other colleges within the CUNY system? And if so, does it jeopardize what would have been your number one choice? So the applications go to each one of those schools separately. So no is the answer to your first question. And the second question, does it jeopardize your chance? Certainly not. Like the CUNYs aren't in competition necessarily with one another. So it doesn't make sense to apply only for your number one choice. So CUNY doesn't reject you for that and instead give you one of the other 5 schools as consolation. So yeah, certainly not. It's not going to negatively impact you at all by applying to all 6 of the schools. What is true though, and what we'll see in just a bit, is that you're only allowed to apply to Macaulay at one school. So you have to be a little bit discerning when it comes to that. But we'll get there. So notice how you have the personal information here. It's quite quick. Name, date of birth, phone and email, address that hasn't been filled out just yet. And we can kind of keep on going. Phone number, let me just put random numbers, I'm sorry. And then phone type, let's call that my mobile. Next. Oh, maybe that's not a valid number. Oh.
And Kareem, just put like all your pretend information when you can, because they're gonna start bombarding you with emails. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Good. Yeah, it's just freezing up here a little bit. 1 second.
While the computer is freezing, everyone hears me, right?
Yes, we do.
So I'll tell you something funny while he's waiting for the screen to change. Are you good, Kareem, or no? But I'll tell you, I did something really funny. So I hosted the webinar and I did this in person, and I wrote as a joke, Kweller is awesome as my name. And then I signed up, and I created a pretend password and a pretend username as if I was applying to college. So I pretended to be me. And would you believe, about 2 weeks later, I begin to receive mail from Columbia, NYU, Hofstra. It's addressed to Kweller is awesome. And I thought that was the coolest thing because they're like, dear Kweller is awesome, we think that you would be a great candidate for Harvard University. I was like, oh my God, they actually mined my data. So I'm just letting you know that was funny. Kareem, are you okay, or do you need anything from me?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. It needed to get restarted.
Okay, that's fine. But what I would recommend with the Macaulay application, those of you who are in 11th grade, you can totally start, I call it just a dummy application, just do a little pretend, a little plasma, and create the file. Now, if I could give you really, really good advice, I would highly recommend that you create a pretend application in 11th grade and then print the whole entire thing out, save it to PDF, download it. By the way, the Common App also has that where you can save and download the whole entire application. I would so recommend you do this in 11th grade. And then a year later, boom, you'll have it and you can touch everything up. And it's going to take away so much of your stress because you did everything a year in advance. Kareem, do you do anything from my end or you're okay?
No, nothing from your end. It just is taking its time to load for some odd reason here.
Actually, so there might be a reason behind this. The deadline, this is interesting. So everyone, I just want to give you a heads up. So the deadline for the Macaulay app is November 16th for seniors. A lot of students are going to be applying. So it's very likely that the website is a little on the slower end right now because there's quite a lot of traffic hitting the website. So there's probably a lot of traffic hitting the website today. We never recommend that students wait until the night before. The Common App website has a reputation to crash 24 hours before. If you look it up online, it actually happens. And a lot of colleges are no mercy. Like they won't extend the deadline if you have a situation where the website will crash. So you want to make sure that you are applying. Kareem, do you need any support from my end or you're okay right now?
I just restarted Google Chrome, so it is coming up again.
So in the meantime, I want to give you guys some suggestions, please, just so that we have a timeline. And I might as well talk and gab while we're waiting. So everyone, early decision, early action, all of that should take place November 1. I highly recommend you apply to every single early action school that you can get your hands on. And that's November 1. When should you have everything ready? October 1. Can I give you really good advice? Please listen to me. If you could do September 1, ask any high school senior how stressful it is to wait until the last minute for the applications. If you could knock everything out over the summer, the essays, the supplements, the Common Application portal is wide open. Use this opportunity to work on your college applications for Common App. That's going to be November 1. Give yourself a break. I highly recommend give yourself a break November 2, 3, 4, really relax. But I'm letting you know, only by November 5, you want to go back in the zone and make sure that you're prepared to work on the Macaulay application. So you have to, that's what I'm saying. When you apply early action, early decision, don't take a break. It is a huge mistake, like gigantic, colossal monstrosity of a mistake for you to wait until you hear from a college to apply to another college. Apply to as many schools as you can. You get into one early decision, you'll let the other schools know. All right. So Kareem, are you okay right now to keep going?
Yep. So the screen's presenting again.
All right. Just make it larger. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay, that works. Yeah, I like to have stuff like literally like that's my size. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right. So yeah, folks, I apologize about that. Just some technical difficulties there. Either way, you have the personal information as kind of the first section where it just takes your name, your date of birth, phone and email, address, residency, so on and so forth. I'll click through here if it'll allow me. If it will allow me. Francis, are you still here? Me?
Yeah, I'm here. Is everything okay?
Yeah. I don't know if the website portal is just
no, it's totally fine. We're there. It's possible that there's a website issue because they're very high traffic right now. That's totally not a big deal. I'm gonna be able to open it up from my end. Let's just go on Google and let's just look up the Macaulay Honors College questions in the meantime, everyone. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on the questions. All right. And I'm gonna open up the laptop and do share screen.
Perfect. Yeah, I do think that the website's actually just down right now, which is terrible timing. So we apologize.
But you know what? Actually, I am so happy that this is happening right now because if it had to happen, this is a great way to teach all of the 11th graders who are listening to not wait for the last minute, because the last thing you want is to have an issue with the traffic in the portal. Okay.
No, that's exactly right.
So
And
Kareem,
I'll
do you mind just if you could just go online and just very simply, if you could just let's go through the Macaulay Honors essay questions, because the truth is at the end of the day, the Common App itself is I mean we were gonna do that with you, but the Common App itself is not that hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
it really does seem like it's the website. That's pretty insane. So to Francis's point, you certainly don't want to apply um, late in the process because things like that actually do happen. Like the website portals do go down generally, like when you're talking about competitive scholarships or applications to competitive colleges, you don't want to wait until the last minute for exactly that reason, actually, which is it's pretty interesting that it happened right then and there. But a few questions have come into the chat, so I'll start responding to them. So Macaulay Honors is for CUNY only, was one of the questions posed. And yes, Macaulay Honors is a school within the CUNY system, the honors college within the CUNY system. So you have Macaulay Honors colleges for each one of the CUNYs, and you can apply to any of them, any of the Macaulay Honors programs at any one of the CUNYs. So you'll be a student technically at both Macaulay Honors College and the respective CUNY that you're at, and you end up getting a degree at both. Hi, I'm interested in applying to the Sophie Davis program for CCNY. For this, I have to also apply to CCNY. Could I apply to CCNY with Macaulay Honors? So yes, you could. So you could apply to the Sophie Davis program because that's going to be a separate portal. And then you can apply to what I would recommend you do is apply to the Macaulay Honors application for the CCNY, because when you go through the Macaulay Honors, there, and this is what I wanted to show you all on kind of like the website portal, is that you can apply to one given school for Macaulay Honors, and then you can also apply to another 5 schools. So to kind of like lay this all out, let's say I wanted to apply to Macaulay Honors at CCNY. I could say I'm applying to Macaulay Honors at CCNY, and then it will give you the option and it will ask, do you want to be considered for the school if you're not able to get into the Macaulay Honors College? So you could get into Sophie Davis, and if that doesn't happen, you can also get into Macaulay Honors. And then if Macaulay Honors doesn't happen, then it'll automatically put you in the running for just regular CCNY. And then on top of that, you have another 5 applications that you're putting in conjunction with the Macaulay Honors portal. So you can also apply to John Jay College and Hunter College and so on and so forth, but not Macaulay Honors. You're only allowed to apply to Macaulay Honors for one school. Hopefully that helps. And then another question came. It's already November 11th. Aren't the kids supposed to apply by Friday? No, the application is due on the 16th, so next Tuesday. And then the last question is, does it include SUNY? So no, SUNYs are the state universities of New York. CUNYs are the city universities of New York, and Macaulay is only in conjunction with the city universities of New York, the CUNYs. So kind of going through the questions for Macaulay Honors college essay questions. So it's going to be 2 separate pieces of writing. Each one of them are supposed to be at most 500 words long. So we'll run you through kind of like each one of them. So the first is the essay question.
Kareem, do you mind just make it as big as you can so everyone can see? And it's fine. I mean, we were going to do the data entry, but let's just go through the essay prompts because that's actually a good use of time as well. So let's go through each essay prompt that is here. Kareem, while you're on this, if you could pull up the Kweller email that we sent, do you happen to have that? Because I have the essay prompt there as well.
Yes. So I restarted my Google Chrome. So it'll take me just a second to kind of get back on Outlook.
So just because I want them to also see the character reference letter and everything from there so that we have that too. Okay.
Perfect.
So actually we can work pretty nicely through the email because it's been laid out very well. It's a good thing I use that little snipping tool, isn't it? Okay. So we got it from there. So it's the Macaulay that we have, and we can, if you can share screen and open up that would be very helpful.
Perfect. Right. So we have another question that came through. Hi. Oh, so if you apply to Macaulay, you don't need to apply in regular CUNY program. Um, so that is technically correct. You can apply to 6 schools through the Macaulay Honors portal, but if you wanted to apply to more than those 6, then you certainly would have to apply to more. So hopefully that is helpful. Um, then, hi, I'm in 10th grade. When is a great time for me to apply? So you would apply when you're done with high school. So
Your
you're
senior year, the start of the senior year. So Kareem, can you get to the share screen for that email yet or no?
I'm opening up.
Okay, let's do that right now. Okay. And I want to show you guys the reference letters. We'll just go through the reference letters as much as we can. Okay.
Perfect.
Is it working?
Yep. So I just got it. All right.
Okay, so let's work with this. Let's scroll down because this is going to have all the big stuff that we need. Okay.
Yep.
Just really quickly, let's make this a little larger. If I can just go through the big themes here that you should know. The school is highly selective, so it's like a Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Columbia in terms of acceptance rates. Okay, we can answer the questions later that are in the chat. Right now, I'm only going to focus on the pieces that we have right now. Okay.
Yep.
The college awards full tuition 100%, and Rose is going to add to that. Okay. There were 6,272 applicants. The average GPA is like a 94, 95. The average SAT score 14, 14. But you know, they're blind on that at the moment. So feel free to apply if you're 90 plus average. Okay. Since 2016, the school has received the #1 rating for a public university, probably because they give you so many benefits. It's great, and the education's amazing. The students get lots of awards: Fulbright, Truman, National Science Foundation. I gotta tell you, like, I didn't even hear about these things until I visited Macaulay. I was like, wow, and then I began to look into it. And I went to NYU for college, and I went to law school, and I learned a lot during the trip. Okay, so let's keep going. Macaulay is part of the CUNY system. So let's go through the essay questions that are here. I think we wrote them out if you go a little lower. Do you see it? It might be down there. If you scroll down a little more.
This is it right here. The
Yeah.
essay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
Okay. So let's look at one of the questions. Okay. So I hope everyone can see this well. Okay. So let's stay up. Let's up. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? Describe an experience that either demonstrates your character or helped shape it. So Kareem will give you some advice, and I'll give you some advice with how this essay should go. Kareem, oh, I forgot to read the top part as part of the Macaulay application. Kareem, go ahead, help me out here.
Yeah. So as part of the Macaulay application to the class of 2026, we require that you submit 2 pieces of writing. So that's what we've been talking about, the 2 separate essays. Each one of them is going to be 500 words long. Like it says each should be around 500 words long, but you want to keep your word counts to right around that 500. So ideally right beneath, to kind of show that you can kind of follow directions there. So the typical thing, so to Francis's point, your first piece of writing is going to be the essay, and it's going to be about an experience that either demonstrates your character or help to shape it. That oftentimes is going to be very similar to your Common App essay. But what's the difference between this Common App essay and the Macaulay Honors essay? The big difference is your word count. So Common App allows you to write up to 650 words. 650 words when your word limit is 500 is not going to be okay. Like, if you had to, absolutely had to, and I would argue that there's not really ever a case where you have to, you should at most kind of go like 10 words, maybe 15 words above the 500. You don't really want to exceed that. So 650 would be egregious. Like, there's absolutely no way you should submit your Common App essay the exact same one for your Macaulay essay. But what you can do is you can shave it down and kind of cut out pieces that are not as necessary to the story. And that's typically kind of the order of operations here. Like, typically a student will write their Common App essay, and then it'll be in the neighborhood of 650 words. And then you're able to kind of like cut down that essay and take out any fluff or anything that is not absolutely necessary to go through the story, and to just present the information that you're trying to shape it down to that 500 word limit. So that would be your first essay. And oftentimes what we call this, the essay, is just a personal statement. So what you want to do is show a level of introspection, or show how an experience taught you something about yourself, or how that experience kind of changed how you performed in the world. So a few examples. A student that I'm currently working with, or just kind of submitted his Macaulay application, he wrote about soccer, and he wrote about how he played varsity soccer in high school and what lessons it taught him about the world. So what lessons can soccer teach you about the world? Well, one that he wrote about was just the value of relationships. So he wrote about kind of how much it impacted his relationship with some specific teammates, how much it affected his relationship with his parents, how much it affected his relationship with his brother. And it also taught him about kind of like work ethic, and focus, and kind of those types of things. So that's an example. Like, what's one experience? In his essay, it was kind of like the final game that he had of his final season, and what that experience taught him about his character, how it helped shape him as a person. And then he kind of went back and talked about what soccer had taught him. In another essay that I'm kind of helping personally, like I'm in a mentorship program for my high school, and I'm kind of helping out another student, so she wrote about kind of science research. So she's done science research for the past like 2 years now, and like what lessons it taught her about like character building and all that type of stuff. So her science research was about kind of like developing plants, so on and so forth. And she kind of went through some situations where the experiments weren't working out, or kind of like the project wasn't going as she originally planned. So she kind of wrote about the experience of going through failure and how that helped her develop as a person. So in that vein, it's kind of how science research, what it demonstrated about her character, and how it helped shape her as a person. So those are two examples. For me, my college essay was kind of rooted around my nephew and what my nephew taught me about just life generally. And to not go into too much detail, I'll just say kind of surface level. I was saying that my nephew wasn't going through kind of like the same experiences that I was, or he wasn't kind of like acting exactly like I did when I was his age. And I was worried, and I was trying to help him develop and trying to like fill gaps of what I thought weren't so good about my development, and trying to help him flesh out those things and help him to become like a better version of me, essentially. And it just wasn't working out. So what that taught me about life, and how just because he doesn't end up just like me, or just because he doesn't end up a better version of me, quote unquote, like that life is more than just a singular experience, and he doesn't have to end up like me. He could end up much better and through his own path. And that's kind of like your essay. So just one experience and what it teaches you about your character, or what it shows about your character, and how it develops you as an individual.
And then I want to add to this as well. I just want to make sure that I'm loud and clear. So it says here, right, describe an experience that either demonstrates your character or helps shape it. So something that I like to do is allocate kind of like a percentage of wording, just because I like to be super specific. So Kareem can probably finish my sentences because he's so used to this. So it says that each essay should be around 500 words. Guess how many words you should use to describe your experience? Who wants to guess? Anyone? In the chat. Guess how many words? Can you write on this, Kareem? Is that allowed? Guess how many words you should do to describe your experience?
I'm not seeing any direct chats. You might be getting them, Francis.
I'm getting them.
Okay.
450. No, that's not what I was getting at. So let's circle where it says describe an experience. Guess how many words you should. Let's circle where it says describe an experience. So there are two parts to the essay. Does everyone understand? This is part one. So let's put a 1 here. Everyone's focused, right?
Yeah.
I really hope you're focused, because everyone should totally be like, Kweller is awesome. The website seems to be down right now. And I was clever enough to use the snipping tool, and I screenshotted all of this for you guys in an email. You're so lucky right now. So number one, describe an experience. And the other one, part of the essay, how does this demonstrate your character? Do you see how they're like parts, right? Or help shape it?
Demonstrates character or help shape it. So either of these are kind of like what you're describing, either or both. So yeah, to Francis's point, what portion of the essay should be attributed to describing the experience?
Oh, Jean, I love you. You're the best. So Jean is saying describe your experience 100 words. Correct. That's what I want.
So 100 words.
Describe your experience is going to be 100 words. Okay. Jean, if I could give you a Kweller prize, I would. Okay. So don't go more than describe. Don't go more than 100 words and then describe your experience. Ready? Now it says demonstrate. Can you make it larger, Kareem? Now it says demonstrate your character. What do you think we really care about when, oh my God, we as if I'm an admissions officer, what do you think the admissions officers really care about? Do you think they care about your experience more, or do you think they care about demonstrate your character more? What do you think they care about more? Do they care about how you describe an experience or how the experience demonstrates your character? What do you think they care about more in this personal essay known as the personal statement? What do you think they care about more? So you want to know about 100 words, maybe describe the experience. The next 400 to 450 words is going to be your, yes, David, A+. Okay, if I could give you a prize, I would. All right. So that's what we really want to focus on. We want to focus on how does this experience demonstrate your character. Okay.
Yep.
Now look at writing sample. So is everyone understanding what the goal is? I want to kind of like really stress this, and I'm speaking slowly. And for those of you who know me, I usually don't speak slowly. I'm actually a little torpedo. I'm letting you know the reason I'm speaking slowly now is because I really want to make this point, and you better be paying attention. They don't care too much about the experience. It could be any experience. They care about how it shaped your character. That's really what they care about. So Kareem, if you could put a big, like, I don't know, stars, hearts, asterisks, whatever, where it says demonstrates your character, shapes your character. This is really, oh, look at that. You know, I've known Kareem. Kareem, how long have I known you? We've been through everything together.
Yeah, 10 years.
Kareem and I have been through so much together over the years. And this is a first where the website's down.
Yeah.
This is for us. All right. But you know what? Look at how cool and collected we are. And under any pressure, this shows that we are champions, Kareem. All right. Next. Now, everyone focused, right? The essay. Describe an experience. What do they care about? 100 words. Demonstrates your character, 400 words. What demonstrates your character? I'll give you something. Let me give you a live example. We're having a live webinar with 120 people and the main website portal is not working. But look at how smoothly we're running this moment. This has been a long day. It just isn't ending. All right. Now we're going into the writing sample. Ready? Write on a topic of your choice. It may be something, this is totally a trap. Write on a topic of your choice. It may be something you've already written, something that addressed a different prompt, such as another college essay or academic assignment, or maybe an essay of your own design. Okay, Kareem, give whatever heartfelt advice you want to give, and then I'll add to the conversation. Go ahead, everyone. Can you make it a little larger? Is that possible or no?
It isn't actually.
A little bit.
It's as big as it, yeah, no, it's as big as it goes, just because it's just
okay, fine.
Yeah.
As long as you guys, I hope everyone sees it pretty well. Okay, so writing sample. So Kareem, give any advice you can give, and everyone keep in mind on what you think the goals are of this kind of writing sample.
Yeah. So the writing sample, like the biggest goal. So if you have to like separate out what is the purpose of each one of these things, the purpose of the essay is to get to know the applicant. Right? Like that's why you spend 400 words talking about how it demonstrated your character and how it helped shape who you are. So the writing sample is actually very similar to what they think about when they're thinking about a law school application. So they want to understand your level of writing, like how well you communicate thoughts, how well you can how well you can convey an argument, something of that nature. So you want to make sure that you're using like proper vocabulary for one. You want to make sure that, I mean, this is the case for both of the essays, but for certain, when you're talking about the writing sample, I mean, you want to make sure that your grammar, your word choice, all of these things are very, very tight. So certainly have your essay reviewed by a few people, like maybe not too many, because that oftentimes can kind of tie things up. But either way, yeah, your writing sample, the goal here is to see like what level of writing you're at. They want to see that you're a college level writer and not a high school or middle school level writer. So write on the topic of your choice, and maybe something you've already written, something that addressed a different prompt, such as another college essay or academic assignment, or maybe be an essay of your own design. So my recommendation always for students is to write about something that is kind of a passion of yours, but you want to avoid controversial topics. So what does that mean? You don't want to write about politics. You don't want to write about anything kind of like in the political sphere. So you don't want to write about taxes and certain things like that. You just don't want to write about stuff that's necessarily controversial.
Yep,
So
I think the day's been long enough. We're not going into details. No controversial
yeah,
topics, guys. But
yeah.
yep, let's keep going. All right, focus.
So in my case, what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about kind of like the production of energy. So that's like one thing. I'm also passionate about basketball. So I would even argue like that would be a decent topic to write about, but you don't want to talk about maybe a specific game. That's not necessarily what you want to do. Maybe you want to talk about like the history of basketball and how it like came to the stage that it is right now, the development of the rules, something like that. You just want to kind of go through anything that you're passionate about, keep it under 500 words, and make sure that the writing is like at a high quality level. And yeah, it can be really a free level of choice here. It doesn't necessarily have to be about. So a common question that we get asked is, well, does this one need to be about me as well? And the answer is no, because that's kind of what that first essay is about. The writing sample is literally just seeing how good of a writer you are. So it has a little bit more freedom in terms of the choice of what you want to write about. And that's kind of like the takeaway there. So I've had students, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. This is not the ideal situation, but if there's nothing else that you can think of to talk about, then you can write about video games. Students ask this all the time. I would say that you can. It's certainly not like number one choice. Yeah, we have some questions in the chat that I'll address, for instance, because there's a lot that are popping up. So we have, when you applied, what were some things that you consider the strongest parts of your application? What do you think got you accepted? So, I mean, my case is not super applicable here, but I mean, my application was strong. So, like,
Kareem, you guys hear me, right? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so everyone, let's really focus, okay? So let's look, the writing sample, right? On a topic of your choice. So I think it's a little bit of a trap. Let me rephrase so we all have our heads screwed on correctly. All right. What do you think is the goal of this essay? They're obviously interviewing you for an ultra competitive scholarship. They want to see if you're fit, if you are suited, if you have what it takes to enter an extraordinarily competitive, scholarly academic. They're straight up wondering, is, I don't know, Joe going to be a Fulbright scholarship recipient 4 years from today's acceptance offer to Macaulay? So they're no joke, right? They want to know for sure that you are writing. So it's not like, oh, write about like hair care or write about like any topic. They want to know through this written piece, I mean, are you the person who they feel is suited to enter this extremely competitive scholarship program? So let's just be really clear. It's not like, oh, write any essay is fine. Okay. So this, you actually could get this wrong. You want to make sure that you're writing. They're going to look for certain things in your writing. They're going to look Is there a variety of sentence structure? Is there an excellent command of the English language? Is it a focused, centered essay? Is there a clear beginning, middle, conclusion? Is the introduction well defined? And they're going to look for all of this in the writing sample. Now, here's what it say. It may be something you already written. This is really important. And those of you who are younger in the webinar, pay attention. If you have any opportunity to join a writing competition, to get published, if you have a school paper, Stuyvesant has the Spectator and Townsend Harris has the Classic. And oh my God, I actually know all the school papers. Like, it's crazy. But so I'm letting you know right now with the Bronx Science, if you have published an article, or if you're planning to publish an article, now's your chance to really impress, okay? Because you can do that, all right? With that being said, it says here, it may be something you've already written. Have you published? What have you been part of Regeneron? Have you been part of the Siemens competition? Have you published something for a scholarly journal for high school students? Have you published something? Listen here, did you take a College Now class? Did you submit a research paper? Did you use MLA format? Did you use APA format? Did you do anything that, college kids do, which is like really heavy professional grade research? Okay. I just want to give everyone a heads up. We're going to go a little bit past 8, just a little bit. Okay. Because I want to hit the character reference as well. All right. And then it says, or something that addressed a different prompt. So they want to see how well of a writer are you. Listen, I'm telling you right now, Macaulay Honors does not want to give you some kind of intro to writing class. You better know how to write coming in. And this is hard. It's a tough pill to swallow because you need to go in like really knowing your stuff. All right. It can be another college essay, an academic assignment. So the college essay, there's a COVID essay. So you could possibly write about that, or another academic assignment. Did you write a paper for your college level physics class? Did you write a paper for, the wording is very important. Okay. Let's keep going. All right.
Perfect.
It may be, wait, no, go up, go back. I'm not done. That's why I said we're going to go a little after 8. Okay. Focus. Ready? It may be an essay of your own design. Listen to me, guys. You're not writing for 17 magazine, all right? You need to grow up, pretend you're 40, and write like you're a lot older than you are right now. The people who are reading your essay are adults. They do not want to have low-level vocabulary, scattered thoughts. If you take your college essay and if you read it to a 5-year-old and they understand every single word, you did something wrong. You need to have higher level words, transitions, structures, and opportunity. Please remember this. This is really important. In selecting your writing sample, please keep the following considerations in mind. Your readers will not be specialists in a field. So why are they telling you this? Why are they telling you the readers won't be specialists? Because you need to explain in your essay what you're writing about. Yeah. Don't say, I participated in LMV. I participated in Regeneron. They might not know what that is. I mean, like, I run the tutoring business, so I know what Regeneron is. But I mean, let's get real. I'm not a science person. I'm not a STEM person. I happen to know it through the business, but that's just the way things turned out in my life. So submissions of a technical nature are discouraged. Does everyone hear that? They don't want a technical submission. Your submission can be an excerpt from a larger text, but it should be self-contained with a reasonably clear beginning. Can you put an X by the word reasonably? Reasonably. Let's get rid of the word reasonably. Let's like kill it. Let's like black it out. Bye. Bye. You can go now. Clear beginning, middle, and end. By the way, I didn't even read that part earlier and I knew it. Be ambitious in your writing. Listen, what does it mean be ambitious in your writing? Pretend you're 40. Okay. Can you actually write that? Pretend you're 40. I mean, I would hope. I'm turning 40. Can you believe I'm turning 40, Kareem? I feel like I'm like 20. I don't know. I do. Okay. You people keep me young. So you have to be ambitious in your writing. Don't use, so I'll give you some simple responses. Don't use small words. Don't use simple words. Don't use simple vocabulary. Make sure that you haven't, show them that you have an excellent command of the English language. Okay. Let's keep going. Now we can go to character reference. You guys are so lucky that I hyperlinked everything. All right. Can you even open? No, forget, it's fine. Please forward this page. Let's look at this. Okay, ready? To the individual who will write you a character reference letter. Send them your CUNY ID. By the way, they're not like, oh, please do this. Do you see? You can underline that. See where it says, be sure to send them your CUNY ID. All right. And everyone, just remember, we're going to go a little bit past 8. Okay. So just bear with me. The character reference letter can be written by anyone who knows you well: an employer, a neighbor, a member of a cultural, religious community group that you belong to, even one of the recommenders who agreed to write your academic recommendation. That's through the Common App. Kareem, you're more than welcome to give some advice and ideas. Why don't we do like something like a minute you, a minute me, just because we're so tight with time? Is that okay? So can you give a suggestion for a character reference letter, please?
Yeah. So a character reference letter, the best thing that you could do is if there was a leader that is associated with an organization that you volunteered for. So for me, I used to volunteer at kind of a food bank or a homeless shelter, I guess is the proper term. But either way, I used to do that every Thanksgiving and Christmas. So what I would have done was I would have asked the leader of kind of like the homeless shelter to give a character reference about kind of how I engaged with folks when I was serving them in that capacity. So that's the ideal reference letter, but you certainly can have a reference letter from a teacher. Like all these are fair game: an employer, a neighbor, a member of a cultural, religious, or community group that you belong to. All of those things are fair game. But when it comes to the recommenders, the ideal situation is to have teachers that have had you in their own classes.
So I wanna add to this just because I'm very strategy oriented and I want to hit the nail on the head with what the goals are. I mean, there's a nice elderly neighbor who you probably, I don't know, say hello to. And then there's the politician next door who's running for comptroller. I would say go the highest up you can. Okay. So my recommendation is to go like a shark. Who do you know who's the highest up? If you took an AP class and you did well and you're interested in pursuing that direction of your future academics, go there. Go for the highest up you can. I wouldn't go for a regular English teacher. I'd go straight for AP English. I wouldn't go for a bio teacher. I definitely would not, I will tell you, I would not pick a ninth grade. I would not pick a 10th grade. I would do an AP someone. Or if you took college classes while you were in high school, go for one of those. If you took a college now class at CUNY, I would go straight for a CUNY professor. So I would go as high up as I can. Now, who's going to write you this letter? I really, really hope, oh, I really just hope that it's not like a nice person who's going to write you a nice letter and talk about what a nice, guy you are. That's really going to be a bad letter. No one cares about you being nice. I mean, mom does. But I think much more importantly is, what is this letter going to talk about you being? Let's be very defined, everyone. Let's be defined. What's the real reason they want this letter? Not for your neighbor, not for your church to say you go to church every Sunday. Like, that's not what they're looking for. So now here's the instructions. So can we like underline these instructions? Let's put like stars next to this. Okay. Everyone bear with me. We're going to go a little bit past 8. To help Macaulay Honors College identify those exceptional. Can you put like 100 stars by the word exceptional? So what they're really looking for in this letter is, can you pick someone who's going to say that you're exceptional? You have to be exceptional. High achieving students, they have promise and potential to become the next generation of civic, business, and intellectual leaders. Can you put a bunch of stars by leaders? Oh my gosh, I can go to Macaulay. I want to apply to Macaulay. I want all the free stuff. I want the dorm. I want the Manhattan living. I want it. Okay. So can you put an arrow next to like exceptional and leaders? Just connect it so everyone sees that. I really like the stars, Kareem. Okay. Good. 10 years, Kareem. That's a long life we have. All right, ready? It takes a lot to know someone for that long. All right, ready? So exceptional leaders. Ready? I think it's longer, Kareem, because it was before I had any kids. It's pretty long. All right, ready? So, and my dog is 12. It's 11 years, Kareem. We're going 11. All
Ooh.
right. Your insights into the values. Oh, put integrity, put character. Good. This is an extremely important letter. Will he embrace the spirit of diversity and inclusion that the Macaulay community embodies? Is this someone who's going to be a team player? In what way will the applicants experience? And then we kind of there's it's not right there. Okay, so I have that part cut off, but go figure. But do you guys understand the gist of this? I hope you find this extremely helpful and you understand that this is the character reference. Now, this is really important. How do you approach someone with a character reference letter request? So everyone stay with me, don't leave yet, okay? How do you approach someone with a request? I highly recommend you put together a resume. I highly recommend that you include as much about yourself as you can in that resume. I highly recommend that when you send the request, you send an email to the teacher. I cannot tell you how important it is to do it junior year, 11th grade. Avoid waiting for this character reference letter and doing this in the 12th grade. I mean, look, if you have to, you have to, but at all costs, avoid doing it. I would say by June of 11th grade, send your teacher a PDF and a Word file of your resume. Dear teacher, I just want to let you know how much I truly enjoyed the class. Or can you just put on silent if you could? Dear teacher, dear, either way, I just want to let you know it's very important. The next thing you should know is you should send a follow-up email in the request. Any person you ask is big. I have kids at Kweller. They volunteered for politicians. They've worked in science labs. They did study abroad. They participated. They like helped build a house overseas. I mean, I've had all sorts of students throughout the years. And I mean, anything you've done that's impactful, and that's where you get your reference letter. So I'm letting you know, like, aim as high as you can and really, start thinking, what can I do to make an impact? How can I fit into what, the school is looking for? I need to mold, right? And you have to understand this is what they want. They don't want some okay Bob person coming in. They want exceptional. I mean, they're not playing around. They wrote the word exceptional. They didn't say good. They said exceptional. They want exceptional. All right. So make sure that you're aware of that. It's also very important that I would highly suggest that you speak to your recommender and explain to them how important this letter is. Like, it's not something you do passively. This is a big deal letter. Let's keep going. Okay. As
Perfect.
part of the Macaulay application. Go ahead, Kareem, read the next part.
Yep, this is just about the essays again. So the
Good,
essays.
and let's keep going down a little more. If Rosa is here, we're good. Oh, Macaulay requires New York State residency. We have that. We'll do FAFSA. We'll do TAP. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, sorry, Kareem. Okay, so here's where I have Rosa. Hello, Rosa. Okay. So this is where I want to go into things with you, and I want to take a minute just to let you know. Let me see. Let me see if she's in the class. But anyway, can you do that? Okay. I'm gonna send her the link. I didn't do that yet. Okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
no
So
problem.
whatever you have to do. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So I guess I'll just talk quickly about the recommendations. So there also are two recommendations that need to be submit, or I guess I should say that there's the recommendation and then there's the character reference letter. So essentially two recommendations, two things that are of kind of like equal weight, I would say, that have to be submitted. So the ideal situation is that you get the recommendation from a teacher, the character reference letter. The ideal situation is that you get it from kind of a community leader that you've worked with, but obviously it's going to be someone that can speak to your character the best, who knows you really well and sees you as an exceptional, to Francis's point, leader. So those are certainly big things. And those are kind of the biggest things outside of the essays that you need.
And
But
someone's asking about the recommendation letter. Can you use who you used in the Common App? Yes, but I mean, I don't know how to say this like any more directly. They're looking for exceptional, so you need to make sure that you are using a person where it's a very clear agenda. It better not be someone who writes like you're nice. I mean, that's like really not good. So I'm just saying, just please keep that in mind. Like, make sure this is someone who really, believes that you are, a diamond, and that's a big deal.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
So that's
Francis, I guess if you want me to kind of, if Rosa isn't available, there are a few questions in the
is
chat, and I can run through
my
those.
ear stuck in the class, so I'm just waiting. But go ahead.
Okay, so there was a question after Macaulay, what's the second and third most competitive CUNY school? So Macaulay is an overarching school for the CUNYs. So it's not like it's a comparison between Macaulay and the CUNY schools. Macaulay is a program within the CUNYs. So I guess hopefully that clears that up. There was what parts of the application matter the most. So it's a holistic application. There's no way to say what part matters most. Um, yeah, everything is going to matter. So, and they always say that they're reviewing everything holistically. So, I guess to answer your question or to kind of give you a little bit of color to it, like if
And
test
if you could
score,
scroll up, just let's scroll up. So can you make it larger just so everyone can see? Let them see the character reference because let's just close on that. Okay, go ahead, Kareem, as you were saying.
yeah. So if your test scores aren't in that 1400 plus range, like the average test score is, then obviously you're going to have to make up for it in other places in the application. Maybe the extracurriculars that you've done, maybe you've published something, maybe your writing is exceptional and you want to make sure that your essays are amazing. You'd have to make up for it elsewhere, but all parts of the application matter. Um, and then there's another question. Instead of talking about an experience, can I talk about something specific like an object and compare it to my character? Not, I guess the simple answer is not really. I can't imagine what object you would be talking about, but if you wanted to talk about an object, it would have to be kind of an experience that you went through with that object and what that highlighted about your character, is my sense from your question. For the writing sample, would you suggest we submit an opinionated piece that we wrote, for example, about racial inequality? Um, so that is an option. But the I guess the big thing is that you don't want to submit something that like is a highly contested topic. So the racial inequality piece, just to be frank, like I think that that's not something that is very contested per se. So my sense is that you could write about that. You do want to kind of like
Is this
curve.
for which essay question? Was this the
That was
main one?
writing sample.
You can, I mean, you could, but are you going to use scholarly journalism? Like, here's my question, just because I want to keep the wording simple. Is this going to be like a rant, or what are you writing about?
Exactly. That's
Right.
that's my
Are,
point. It's like
because if you're going to make statements that are generalized and that are, really just, you need to make sure that you're going to like, for example, The Who is like a really big magazine. There's certain magazines, there's certain journals, there's certain like scholarly articles. Like, if you're going to write about something, Scientific American, like if you're going to write about something, if you're going to make statements, like they better not be like from Nickelodeon. Okay, like make sure that you're using it really depends, because I think it's fair to say you almost could write about anything. Is that fair? You almost could, but
yeah.
make sure you're writing in an elevated way where you're impressing. It has to be an impressive wording and writing.
Yeah, yeah. And the opinionated piece is fine too. You just like yeah, you don't want to write about something highly contested. And I think that the easy example of that would be politics. But yeah, to
Yeah,
my
and by the way, once you get into college, you can actually be highly political and heated every single day, 7 days a week. Right now, the big thing is they're going to be looking for your writing style, your writing abilities, your talents, your strengths. That's what they're really looking at. They're looking at your command of the English language, your ability to write in a way where they're going to say you're not 18, you're 40. So that's what they're looking for. Do you have that level of maturity in your writing? Are you going to be a Fulbright scholar, 4 years from the day they accept you? So that's really important. Kareem, Rosa's here. So is it okay if I have her join in because she was in
Okay.
a class earlier? Okay.
Okay, no problem. And
Okay.
you can give her co-host.
And then yeah, I'm gonna put her co-host. Kareem is gonna go back to studying, and I know that
Yeah.
he is. Thank you so much, Kareem. To everyone, can we have can we put everyone? Can you do a chat with everyone for a moment? Let's just have everyone give you a big thank you. I really want to just say like thank you so much, Kareem, for doing this. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, now you guys can chat to everyone. So
Yay. So let's
no problem.
give Kareem a huge thank you, everyone. Let's please type Kareem. Thank you so much. Let's type it in because Rosa's gonna we're just gonna
Okay.
try to add a little bit. Thank you so much, Kareem. You really did a lot. I really want to say thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem. No
Okay.
problem. No problem. All righty. You all have a great night. And just to address this question really quickly, one person's asking if there's a link that they can submit questions for afterwards. I think the best thing to do would just be to email. Um, and you can
Yeah,
find email for Kweller Prep. And then yeah, when would they
I
tell you to send to
we
Macaulay?
also have a full service where we
Yeah,
help
exactly. So
if you're interested with the applications and the essays. Just keep in mind it is something that we privately do. It's I mean if you're curious, it's info@quellerprep.com. All right. So
perfect.
I want to share that with you. Um, Rosa, do you mind giving some guidance and some advice just for a moment? Is that okay? And then we're all gonna finish up. Okay, go ahead.
Of course, sounds good. Should we start by talking about the essay?
Um, yeah, actually you could. I just want to coordinate with Kareem because I know he has to get back to his schoolwork. So Kareem, let me figure out how to do this. So I'm host, Kareem, so you're good, okay? Kareem, are you there? Hello? I guess, I don't know. I guess he's stopping. All right. So Rosa, you should be fine to speak. Okay. And Karima's exiting out. All right. Perfect. All right. Go ahead.
Perfect.
What were you saying?
So I wanted to talk about the essay that you need to write to get into Macaulay. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't mind, that would be great. And we'll allocate just a few minutes because everyone's exiting out. So let's just quickly add the essay. And thank you so much for joining. I know that you had a really busy night class. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I know that one of the prompt for the essay talks about writing about something that you want to talk about. It's really open-ended, and I feel like a lot of students kind of love to have that essay because they kind of can talk about their strengths. I kind of wanted to have students know that there's three basic ways that I think you should go about the essay. One would be to talk about national or international or even local issues that students are passionate about, because that's something that I think Macaulay really, really likes. A lot of the clubs at Macaulay are also very community oriented. So if admissions sees that you're very passionate about local issues, they really love that. For example, on my essay, I specifically talked about how I would love to improve the subway system, and I think that that really worked out well for me. So if students have things that they care about, especially that has to do with their community, I think that you should definitely talk about it. Um, Other than that, I think students should also mention things on their Macaulay essay that obviously would highlight their strengths. It could be anything really, anything that you're passionate about, especially like clubs that you're affiliated with. You can also take this opportunity to kind of showcase your growth in specific clubs that you've been in. So I really want to talk about that. Other than that, is there anything specific that you'd like me to talk about, Francis?
How is Macaulay? Like, how's the actual, do you mind telling us what do you feel that what were your reasons for applying to Macaulay? What did you like, what were the reasons you chose the school? What were the benefits of it? And I think we'll just close with that. Go ahead.
I chose Macaulay specifically because obviously I wanted to stay in the city, and it's a great opportunity, especially if you want to travel abroad. for maybe like a semester of abroad studying, we get funds towards that. And I also wanted to mention the amount of internship opportunities that we get through the school. Also, the faculty, I actually looked into the faculty first because I think going from a small school, it's really important for me that my teachers would kind of care what I'm about, like what I'm doing. So I really wanted that. And that is exactly how Macaulay works. For example, my teachers are very aware of like how the students are doing in their class. And I think that that's something that I specifically wanted because I didn't want to be in an environment where I was surrounded by a faculty that's like busy aside from what's happening with the student body. So I would say that Macaulay is very connected with the faculty, and at Macaulay is very connected with the students. Aside from that, obviously, Macaulay also gives you, I think everybody knows, Macaulay offers you a MacBook Air, which is like super cool, especially because before I started school, I just had a desktop and I didn't have a computer. So that's something I was really, really excited about. Other things that I'm excited about before I even considered applying to Macaulay was, like I said, the internships. I think it's very weird. Because right now, last year, I think a lot of people were looking for internship opportunities, especially because we were like in the middle of a global pandemic, and I had my teachers and my advisors reach out to me, providing me with info and like details about places that were, recruiting internees for specific like majors and stuff. So I think that's something super important if you're trying to like obviously grow your career and like make moves.
I
Anything
think
else?
also strategically, as we close right now, it's really important to note that right now Macaulay's like test blind. So they're not going to look at your SAT scores. This is your chance to really make your application amazing. So just keep that in mind. Like this could be your big shot if you're a senior. Like put your heart into your essays. Put your soul into your essays. Go out of your way towards putting together the best possible version of you that you can, because there are actually a lot of kids would not apply at the moment, but now they will, because CUNY is not going to hold the scores against you if you aren't able to take the SAT. I think we covered a lot of ground. Let's give Rosa a big thank you because she had a very busy day. I think I deserve a big thank you, guys. I've had a surprisingly busy day today. We had webinars all morning since 8 a.m. It's been busy, all right? Kweller Prep was running classes. Today has been a very long day for me. All right, I'll speak. And we had technical difficulties. Who would have thought? Okay, and I think I demonstrated my character. The Macaulay website was not functioning the way that I was expecting it to, but we still had a pretty successful webinar. Okay. Thank you,
Also about
everyone.
the, I just wanted to quickly mention about the Macaulay website. If you guys please do not wait until the last moment to apply, because the CUNY websites are a bit faulty, especially if there's like a lot of traffic. So please, please, please finish your essays before the deadline and try to submit as soon as you can. And I also wanted to highlight and emphasize on what Francis said about the essays. This is a perfect opportunity for anybody who's not done too well on the SATs, or if somebody who's just like not submitting these scores. Please sell yourself to the school through your essays. Make sure that they know that you are the best candidate for the school, regardless of your SAT, ACT, whatever, like standardized test scores, whether you provide it or not. Please, please, please make sure that your essays are literally so good that you're potentially selling yourself to the school, that they're basically giving you money to come to them. And obviously the essays are the best place to do that. So be vigilant as to what you're writing and whatnot.
And this is your chance. I want to let you know that it's really important that, your participation in, this special time in your life for the parents who are listening. Your participation with your child is a really, really big deal. So please just remember that, okay? Effie, you're here. Effie, you always have a different name. I can't keep track. There's always an alias in here. Your co-host right now, okay?
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Go ahead.
I
Yes, go
use
right ahead.
different computers. That's why.
You're so funny. So I never know. It's always a mystery. All right, but we're good and much stronger and vibrant turnouts. So go right ahead.
I wear many hats apparently.
I know. I don't even know who's in the room, but I'm glad. We have a lot of fans. All right, go right ahead.
Thank you. On behalf of parents at Fort High School, I want to thank Francis, the Kweller Prep in general, Rosa, and basically the whole team. I want to remind parents also that we're going to have more seminars coming up. Most of them are going to be on Thursdays. If you want to say a few words, Francis, about the upcoming seminars.
Yeah, there's a variety of topics. I want to, just to let everyone know that Kweller Prep is part of a parent student engagement initiative. This is a really important cause we're very supportive of. For those of you who are familiar with me, with my background, I'm a child of immigrants, and none of this, zero, below zero, like -1 of this was taught to me. It is one of my life goals to have this information conveyed to parents and to students. And I really do want to pass the torch. I'm very, fortunate that I'm, able to do something like this. So passing the torch is a really, really big deal. By the way, Rose is doing that, Effie is doing that, and quite a lot of families support our cause. We're really thankful for that. The Parent Student Engagement Initiative is really to just show parents how they can best support their children through their academic studies, how to achieve and reach goals of higher education as well. So the webinars are always going to be circled around the college admissions process and just really navigating high school to position yourself into the best possible school and college as well. College is just very, very important in so many different ways. I know that there are many opportunities, of course, but we really choose to focus on this area, which is, encouraging students to not discontinue their education after high school. So this is a very big goal and agenda that we have as a company, is to show a pathway. Effie, you're welcome to add anything on if I left something out.
Thank you. I want to remind parents that this is, it helps that we're doing this for the Title I funds. They're helping schools like us that don't have very, very affluent parents in the neighborhood. So if you think about it, what Kweller taught us today, there are some people who would literally pay thousands of dollars to get that kind of information when their kids apply to colleges. Go to some rich neighborhoods in Manhattan and you see how much money parents spend trying to help their kids with applications into college. So we are basically providing that information for you for free. The one thing that would help us continue to do it is if everybody fills what we call the launch forms. The parent coordinator has them. There've been a few emails about it. There'll be more coming out. We are almost at the threshold of getting it for next year. So please, every one of you that fills it, it counts. It helps a lot. We are, like I said, we are very close to the threshold. We really need to get there.
Do you know, Effie, do you know what the threshold is? I believe
it's more than 60%, and I think we're at 59. So like we're really, really close.
So let's rename it. Instead of calling it a lunch form, let's call it the most critical form ever that your tax dollars will use towards any types of programming. Let's call it the tax money put to good use form. Let's rename the form, because I think lunch form is very misleading when the real purpose of those forms is something else.
It used to be called the lunch form because it gave students a free lunch, but now everybody gets a free lunch. So it's a bit of a misnomer. It does help families get basically waivers for the SAT, waivers for AP exam fees, waiver for college applications. So there's a lot of good that comes to the families who fill this up.
Yeah, and the waivers are no joke because you need, so everyone, so it's called lunch form, but that's fraud. That's straight up bad advertising. The truth is the form is very important for documenting whatever the household income is. So I'm just letting you guys know, pay attention because those lunch forms are important. And you should tell that to a friend. All of those single moms out there, you have to make sure that you're on top of those lunch forms, because college applications, you can snap your fingers and you will be spending $1,500 to apply to college right out of your pocket, and you don't want a situation where you could have avoided that. All right, thank you, Effie. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I didn't even think to add that into the meeting.
All right, so thank you very much, everybody. Again, please fill those forms. It helps the school. We get about $1.5 million to $2 million a year from those forms, and it helps you also save literally hundreds of dollars on various fees. So everybody benefits. Again, thank everybody for coming tonight, and we hope to see you again in the following weeks. I think for now we're scheduled to do Thursdays. Is any exception to that? Or all Thursdays?
No, we're happy to keep running the webinars, and we want all the families to benefit. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.